Take a moment right now and notice how you are holding your head. Is your chin jutting forward? Is the back of your neck feeling tight and compressed? If you are watching this on a phone or computer, there is a real chance that your head is already several centimeters in front of where it should be. And if you experience frequent neck stiffness, shoulder tension, or tension, headaches that seem to come from nowhere, this video is going to explain exactly why, and give you a simple 3 times daily solution that takes less than 3 minutes to perform. The numbers surrounding this problem are genuinely alarming. In South Korea alone, more than 2.54 million people are currently diagnosed with forward head posture syndrome, and neck disc patients have increased by nearly 70% since smartphones became part of daily life. Globally, the picture is equally concerning, with forward head posture now being described as one of the most common postural deviations in the modern population. What is particularly striking is that this is no longer primarily an older adult problem. Statistics show that 61% of people aged 10 to 30 already show signs of forward head posture, driven largely by hours of daily phone and screen use. But here is what most people do not understand about why this matters so much. For every centimeter your head moves forward from its ideal position, the effective load on your cervical spine increases by approximately 2 to 3 kilograms. Your head weighs roughly 5 to 6 kilograms in a neutral position. When you tilt it forward just 30 degrees, as many people do when reading a phone in their lap, the load on the cervical spine increases to around 18 kilograms. At 45 degrees of forward tilt, that becomes 22 kilograms. At 60 degrees, approximately 27 kilograms. That is the equivalent of carrying a young child on the back of your neck for hours every single day. Under that kind of sustained load, the intervertebral discs of the cervical spine are under constant compression. The surrounding muscles are chronically overworked, and the stage is set for progressive disc degeneration and herniation. So what actually causes forward head posture to develop and persist? The answer lies deeper than simply staring at a phone too often. The true root cause is the progressive weakening of a specific group of muscles, called the deep cervical flexors, primarily the longus colli and longus capitis, which sit close to the front of the cervical vertebrae and act as the core stabilizers of the neck, just as the lower back has deep stabilizing muscles that, when weakened, lead to back pain and instability. The neck has its own deep stabilizing system. When this system weakens through disuse, the superficial neck muscles, including the sternocleidomastoid and scalenes, become overactivated and pull the head progressively forward. The result is forward head posture. And the chin tuck exercise targets these deep cervical flexors directly, reactivating and strengthening the very muscles that have been switched off. The science supporting this is compelling. In a clinical study of 28 patients with chronic neck pain, those who performed deep cervical flexor activation exercises saw their pain scores drop from 5.2 to 1.7 over 8 weeks, a reduction of 67%. The group performing general neck strengthening exercises over the same period showed only a 39% reduction, from 5.1 to 3.1. The same investment of time, nearly double the result. Critically, the improvements extended beyond pain alone. The craniovertebral angle, the standard clinical measure of forward head posture severity, improved significantly, as did forward shoulder angle. Pain relief and postural correction happened simultaneously. A separate systematic review analyzing 16 randomized controlled trials concluded consistently that corrective postural exercise programs produce significant improvements in pain, disability, and posture in patients with forward head posture. Let me walk you through exactly how to perform the chin tuck correctly. Because the technique is everything. Sit or stand comfortably, with your back reasonably upright. Look straight ahead at the horizon. Now, without tilting your head down and without looking toward the ceiling, gently draw your chin straight backward, as though you are trying to make a double chin. The movement is purely horizontal, like sliding the back of your head along a shelf. You should feel a mild stretch or gentle activation at the base of your skull and the upper back of your neck. That sensation is your deep cervical flexors engaging, often for the first time in years for many people. Hold that position for 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly release back to neutral. Repeat 10 times. The most common mistake is confusing the chin tuck with a chin drop. Dropping the chin means tilting the head downward, which actually increases the load on the lower cervical spine and activates the wrong muscles entirely. The chin tuck is a backward, sliding motion in the horizontal plane, with your gaze staying level throughout. If you are doing it correctly, your ears will move slightly behind your shoulders, rather than remaining in front of them. Once the basic seated chin tuck feels comfortable, 3 progressions will accelerate your results significantly. The first is the supine chin tuck, performed lying flat on your back without a pillow or with a very thin one. In this position, gravity assists the exercise, allowing deeper activation of the target muscles. Press the back of your head gently into the floor. Using the same backward sliding motion, you should feel the space between your neck and the floor decrease slightly. 10 repetitions, 5 to 10 seconds each, makes 1 set. This version is particularly effective before sleep. The second progression is the wall-supported chin tuck. Stand or sit with your back and the back of your head gently touching a wall. Perform the chin tuck from this position, pressing your head lightly back toward the wall. The wall gives you immediate feedback about whether your head is actually moving backward rather than simply tilting, which removes all guesswork about technique. This version is ideal for a quick reset during work breaks. The third progression, for those 2 or more weeks into consistent practice, is the resisted chin tuck. Place a light resistance band or a folded towel against your forehead, while someone or a door frame applies gentle forward resistance, and then perform the chin tuck against that resistance. This increases the intensity of deep muscle activation substantially and accelerates strength building in the target muscles. Here is your practical 3-session daily structure. The first session belongs in the morning, ideally before you pick up your phone. 10 chin tucks in the seated or wall-supported position wakes up the deep cervical flexors and sets the neuromuscular tone for better posture throughout the day. The second session is the most important one and should happen after your longest period of screen use, typically mid-afternoon. This is your posture reset, interrupting the cumulative forward drift that builds over hours of desk or phone use. The third session is before bed, preferably in the supine position on the floor, and serves as a decompressive reset for the cervical spine. After a full day of gravitational loading, your 7-day starting plan works as follows. On days 1 through 3, perform only the basic seated chin tuck. 10 repetitions for 3 sets, 3 times daily. Focus entirely on feeling the right area engage at the base of the skull. On days 4 and 5, add the supine version to your evening session. Many people notice their neck feels noticeably looser upon waking by this point. On days 6 and 7, incorporate the wall-supported version into your afternoon session, giving you all 3 variations across your daily routine. Clinical research found that consistent performance of this exercise program over 4 weeks produced a meaningful improvement in craniovertebral angle, and 8 weeks of practice correlated with the dramatic 67% pain reduction described earlier. The benefits of restoring proper cervical alignment extend well beyond neck pain alone. Tension headaches frequently diminish because forward head posture compresses the suboccipital muscles at the base of the skull and irritates the nerves passing through that region. Shoulder pain often improves simultaneously because forward head posture almost always accompanies rounded shoulders, and correcting the neck position allows the scapulae and shoulders to naturally return toward a more neutral alignment. Some people report improvements in jaw tension and eye strain as well. All downstream effects of reduced mechanical stress through the entire cervical chain. Research has also shown that postural correction programs improve both physical and mental health quality of life scores, reinforcing the idea that something as seemingly small as how you hold your head carries consequences for your overall well-being. A few important precautions before you begin. If you have a diagnosed cervical disc herniation, cervical spinal stenosis, or have had recent neck surgery, please consult your doctor or physiotherapist before starting this exercise. During the exercise, if you feel any shooting, tingling, or electrical sensation radiating from your neck, down your arm or into your hand, Stop immediately and seek professional evaluation. This may indicate nerve involvement that requires assessment. Before exercise continues, if this video helped you, please subscribe and leave a like. I share evidence-based health and movement content every week. Drop your questions or your experience with neck pain in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video.